Question from Mowgli. He says, we'll come back to all this stuff. Mowgli says, hey guys, I have a question for each of you. Lucas, what is a normal work day like for you? How does your communication with the club work? And then there's another question, but we'll save it for a second.
Yeah, well, I just basically get up to call the news around Real Madrid in terms of the Spanish and international media and all that. Then try if there are any big deals happening, I try to talk to the few sources I have within the club and see if there's any traction behind those particular rumors, those particular reports, and they try to report them. It's not. It's a busy. It's not as busy in terms of having to stay in front of the computer doing stuff all the time. That's true, but it's a very dedicated kind of work in terms that you have to stay on top of the news pretty much every single hour, every single day. When obviously during transfer season, during the rest of the season, it's not that important, but during transfer season, you need to make sure that you check on Twitter or your phone once at least every 15-20 minutes, whatever you are, because some things might be happening. I have a quick memory to share that the transfer of Toni Kroos back in 2014,
Yep.
2014, was announced while I was on the Maspalomas beach in the Canary Island.
Great timing.
And I had to write the official announcement and the news on my phone right there on the beach, because no one else was around, basically because I'm the only one. Now with you, I think it's different, but back in the day I was the only one available during that time zone here in Spain. Real Madrid are usually busier during the day, during the mornings here in Spain, and obviously the ones in the staff in North America are definitely sleeping during that time. So I had to take care of those while on the beach in the Canary Island, and that's a funny memory I remember.
That's the part of being a journalist where I think people don't necessarily. I mean, I think they know, they're smart enough to know, but just like the fact that no matter what you're doing, it's on hold. It's on hold, and it doesn't matter if you're on the beach, if you're sleeping in, doesn't matter if you're where you are. If there's news, there's news. It's not 9 to 5. But I think that's part of the thrill and the rush of it. For me, like, so I have a funny anecdote about this too. Like, we're going to we've been to like many cottages this summer, for example. So like when that whole weekend where Mbappe rejected us, I was away at a nice barbecue with my cousins at a swimming pool, like just sun shining, laughing with my cousins that I grew up with. It was such a great day. And then there was that Mbappe thing, by the way, which we broke records and still to this day will be the highest traffic weekend we've had on the podcast ever. That weekend, you and I did Sunday the day after, and then that day we had a whole roundtable podcast. And we've been going away like almost every weekend in the summer because there's no games, like with the kids and stuff. And my mother-in-law, I told my mother-in-law, like, because she said first weekend of September, we're going to go to a cottage. Please leave it free. And I looked at the schedule, and it was like Real Madrid versus, I think it was Betis. And then after that, Sevilla versus Barcelona. And then before that, it's like there was some other cool games that morning that I really wanted to watch. I think Lazio was playing or something because I want to watch Mario Gila. That's just me. But and then she's like, well, can't you get someone else to cover it? And I said, no, I have to do it, which is kind of a half lie. But at the same time, it's not just that I don't I want to. It's not that I have to necessarily. It's that I can't stay away from it. I get I get FOMO. If I'm not talking about what's happening, I feel like even one day passes without me talking about certain things that are happening, whether it's a game or news. I have to. Right. Like it's something I love, so I don't want to pass it off regardless. And you know what I mean? I think that's part of the fun of it too. But you have to have people around you who are understanding of your life. And if you're not surrounded by those people, you kind of have to just be like, hey, that's kind of what I want to do. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
But it's around the clock.
Yeah, and it's also important to prepare just because of this, and it's important to whenever you know something is happening, like with Mbappe, for example, you know a decision was coming, right? So whether it was one way or another, so
Yeah.
you have to. I do it myself. You have to have the two articles prepared just in case. So it sucks, but in order to be a top website these days, you have to. It's important. Timing matters. It's important not to waste a lot of time while writing, especially breaking news. Obviously, with tactical and analytical stuff, it makes
Yeah.
it's an entire different world. But with breaking news, it's important to be there, basically the first. So you have to prepare. You have the draft ready for and yeah, I had the draft ready official dot Mbappe signs for Real Madrid, and another draft official Mbappe rejects Real Madrid, renews with PSG. I have those two articles ready. They are probably down in the graveyard of Managing Madrid's editor,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's important to prepare just because of the nature of being there first, and how sudden things are in the world of football.
And to the point, I think it like what I really like about your articles, and I've been trying to do this too with breaking news stuff, is that it's to the point. No fluff,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
details and information, and as easy as read to possible to get the concise details. I do find there is a lot, some pieces. It's just like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of just repeating things. And I think you just have to people have to just flesh it out. What are the main talking points? Get the minimum word count
Yeah,
and get it up with clear, concise information. I think that's something that you do really well. Where I think other places just fluff it out a little bit unnecessarily.
yeah.
Um,
Player, club, fee, quote, potential
yeah,
quote, if any, official statement. That's it. Yeah, and
yeah.
then analysis will come after. And these days, these last few years, you guys are the ones doing the analysis on the side and doing a great job with it. And I try not to include my own analysis in those pieces and just cut to the point, as you mentioned. Yeah.